Welcome to Pixorize's scene for vitamin B7, or biotin, part of our series on the vitamins. In this bittersweet scene, we'll meet a deceased Tin Man as he ascends to a higher plane and contemplate what his fate means for the rest of us. But mostly we'll talk about biotin. Let's get started. First things first, let's meet our main character. As you can see, this scene captures the Tin Man's entrance to heaven. And this isn't normal old heaven where Gandhi and Mother Teresa are grabbing drinks. This is bee heaven. And what's bee heaven, you ask? I have no freaking idea. Do you think I've been there? Come on. Apparently, bee heaven is where dead Tin Men go. Judging by our Tin Man's face, he seems pretty jazzed about it, so we can assume it's a happening place. If you haven't already guessed, bee heaven is how we've chosen to represent B7, vitamin B7, and the Tin Man, as a biological construct made of tin, will be our symbol for biotin. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty biochemistry of vitamin B heaven. See that cardboard box the Tin Man's spirit is holding? I guess Tin Men get to bring their favorite earthly possessions with them in a cardboard box to bee heaven. That's pretty cool. The god of bee heaven sounds pretty chill. Anyway, this cardboard box will represent carboxylation reactions, since biotin acts as a cofactor in a bunch of them. All of these reactions serve to add single carbon groups, with vitamin B7 acting as a transfer intermediate. They should all fit nicely in our Tin Man's box. If we look inside the box, it looks like he's bringing a couple of different croquet mallets. Like different golf irons. Tin Men love croquet, if you weren't aware. These mallets will represent our first two cardboard carboxylation reactions, since both of these reactions involve coenzyme A, or CoA. CoA, croquet. You feel me? Notice that the mallet on the left is carved from a special material. You probably guessed pine, but if you knew the first thing about croquet, like I don't, then you'd know that it's a cedar mallet. This is to help us remember acetyl-CoA carboxylase, or acetyl-croquet carboxylase. Got it? Acetyl-CoA carboxylase adds a carbon to acetyl-CoA to make malonyl-CoA, the primary building block for fatty acid biosynthesis. Moving on to our second CoA croquet mallet, we can see that this one's got a propeller. It's the best and latest in croquet technology. When he swings it, the propeller spins and gives the shot extra oomph. You're probably like, hey, that makes no sense. But your stupid laws of physics don't exist in bee heaven, so buzz off, buzzkill. This propeller croquet mallet in the carboxylase box will help us remember that biotin is a cofactor for propionyl-CoA decarboxylase. Propeller-propionyl-CoA decarboxylase catalyzes the conversion of propionyl-CoA to methylmalonyl-CoA in the matrix of the mitochondria. Methylmalonyl-CoA can then be converted to succinyl-CoA and enter the citric acid cycle. Okay, last cardboard box carboxylation reaction. Take a look at that pirate flag our Tin Man is bringing along. This is not a croquet mallet, and frankly, I don't really get why our harmless Tin Man is bringing this with him. He doesn't seem like a pirate to me. Maybe his croquet league team was called the Pirates, or maybe he just had a checkered past. I do remember that he had a heartless streak a while ago. Huh? Okay. Anyway, this pirate flag will help us remember pyruvate carboxylase, which, as you might recall, is the enzyme that converts pyruvate to oxaloacetate in the mitochondria to get gluconeogenesis going. Pirate flag pyruvate carboxylase is the last enzyme that requires biotin as a cofactor that we need to cover. Hooray! We can move on to biotin man deficiency. Let's turn our attention to the dumpster in the background, our Tin Man's final resting place. Check out his discarded, piecemeal corpse rotting among the filth. Horrifying. This destroyed Tin Man will represent biotin deficiency and its clinical findings. First, check out how rusty he was when he met his end. His WD-40 prescription must not have been covered by insurance. This rust will remind us of dermatitis in biotin deficiency. Now turn your attention to our dismembered Tin Man's head. It looks like the funnel hat he was wearing has fallen off, revealing his round, shiny dome. This bald Tin Man head will remind us that biotin deficiency can cause alopecia. Finally, look at our Tin Man's posterior region. It's leaking a ton of oil. Ugh. I can practically smell this dumpster through the computer screen. This leaky oil excrement will help us remember that vitamin B7 deficient patients can present with enteritis and diarrhea. Next, check out the eggs strewn about our Tin Man's body. At this point, you're probably wondering how patients can become vitamin B7 deficient. Well, you're probably wondering a lot of things, like why do Tin Men go to bee heaven instead of, Tin Men heaven, or whatever. I don't have answers to those questions. You'll have to talk to your tin pastor. I do know what causes biotin deficiency, though. It's these eggs. Egg whites contain a lot of avidin, which tightly binds biotin, preventing absorption in the small intestine. Excessive consumption of raw egg whites, like the one in this dumpster, can lead to a biotin deficiency and the clinical picture we've already described. So I'd say skip the whole downing raw eggs for breakfast cliche when you're filming your Step 1 study montage. Lastly, turn your attention to the spray bottle next to the dumpster. That's some antimicrobial spray. Seems insufficient for properly sanitizing this dumpster, but I guess every little bit helps. Biotin deficiency can also be caused by the long-term use of antibiotics, presumably by altering the intestinal flora. Our microbial spray bottle should help us remember that. And with that, our vitamin B7 scene is as dunzo as our Tin Man, which I can joke about since he's obviously in a much better place now. If you're taking your exam and find yourself in a bind tighter than the one between biotin and avidin, just remember the specter of our Tin Man walking towards the buzzing and bright lights of bee heaven, and you should be just fine. Remember, he's watching over you every day. Until next time.